going wide.
That was a tense moment. Now the Antonio looking for a fight.
He's stunned into the wall, has the flash, puts the ignite down onto the Antonio, who flashes away, as does Ignat. There's the first bit of CC, and Ignat is going to pay for Antonio's dive in with his life, and the Antonio might be soon to follow. G2 find their first kill, and the first kill of the game.
I just want to confirm, the Antonio picked that fight, right? Yep. He was like, we're going in. Yeah, that was not the best of decisions, and now he's all on his lonesome in this bottom side.
And no TP to help verdict. Is it enough? Can he helicopter his way out of this one? The answer is an emphatic no. G2 get their second.
Now, that was quite a...
2 kills in the bottom lane for G2. The Drake secured as well by GIANTX. I mean, they might as well.
And then they secure the objective. So,
yep,
it's just consequences.
Across the board, G2 have had the benefit of the early game. The arrow there hitting onto Ignat. TP in as GIANTX are looking to dive at Cassante. Now, he does have the Crossfire Gauntlet and a Redemption, and even with the Nature's Grasp, I'm not sure he dies here. Gets the knockback, Ignite has to jump away. Yeah, okay, GIANTX, this was bloody awful. This was diabolical. GIANTX went for the dive, and all they're gonna do is die. Cass has so much free time in the top lane. The Lightning Crash coming out, Magnet Storm from Ignite as well, but Broken Blade has already found 2 out of the fight. They're gonna make it 3. It's a disaster for GIANTX, and G2 happily eat up their rewards. Ignat trying to get away, but Summer's here on the chase. Ignat has a flash, but I don't think he escapes from that. 6-0 for G2.
I think GIANTX just got too impatient. The idea, just lane assignments and mid-game macro is at a very high level, and so they'll punish you for your poor lane assignments, and they're gonna...
Does BB TP in, or did G2 let it go?
There's TP behind. Daisy coming out as well as G2 want to take the fight. Keeper's verdict hits onto Yike, forces him away. Mickey puts down the Unbreakable. Redemption coming out as well as Broken Blade dives onto the backline. The Drake secured by Juhan. Hans trying to force Jackie's away and manages to do so. Cat's now opening up as the dive comes back in from the Antonio, but he'll fall first. Juhan trying to put some saplings down to slow G2 on their advance. In the end, it's a Drake for a kill. GIANTX taking the Dragon.
GIANTX, they had a nice setup. G2 wanted to try and contest with a flanking TP. It's kind of
collapse. He's got one ward behind him, and I don't think Jackie's knows. As you can see, the Antonio struggling in terms of gold. Summer has the Redemption, the TP coming in as well by GIANTX, but the Antonio, I'm sorry, mate, I'm not sure this is where you want to be today. The rest of his team are trying to collapse, but there's the 2 tanks on their way, and immediately they decide not to join him in dying. There's 2 quick kills to G2.
Unfortunately, a symptom of a pervasive problem that we've continued to see of GIANTX is Jackie's getting caught in a side lane. It's happened multiple times in summer splits, an issue that we were hoping coming into season finals he was able to rectify, but when he finds himself at a deficit, he tries his best to get those resources, to funnel that farm back into himself, but he leaves himself exposed, and G2's a team that will not allow that to go unpunished. They find themselves a kill, they punish the TP from the Antonio, they get another tower, they're gonna try and convert it into another one. And I mean, this game was already out of control, but it's going from bad to worse as G2 extends. Now they'll start the Baron. A bit ambitious, you could argue, but they know they have the gold advantage. Why not force the fight?
Jackie's going to TP in. Ward across the wall. Summer still on the Baron right now. They jump in with the root call him immediately. They dive onto Juhan. He's pulled back. And in the middle of the Redemption, he finds none. Patrick and Ignat forced away by Daisy. The Antonio does still have a flank position.
And the Antonio just went through right as the engage went off, and now G2 back in the pit. The Antonio needs the Poppycopter, but it's still not off cooldown.
Mickey jumps forward with the Unbreakable. The Antonio now looking for that flank position. No smite for GIANTX. Keeper's verdict only hits onto the support. Patrick kept at bay by Daisy. Magnet Storm forward. Maybe Broken Blade will fall, but the Trigger C will keep him alive for just a second. Jackie's diving in, trying to take down Summer. He flashes and is met with an arrow to the face. The Antonio chased out by Caps. Patrick, the last man standing. There's a tree coming to try and help him out, but so far, GIANTX have only been going timber.
The team fights. And they, of all the characters to catch, they catch out the enemy jungle, making the Baron that much easier to secure.
It's just perfect timing. They just see the Poppy go across the pit, and they're like, wait, it's just more
tiny bits of hope for GIANTX, but the next wave is now about to arrive. Control ward in the bush. As GIANTX decide, it seems to not engage as G2 push up towards that turret range. The inhibitor, the next target. reigning champions. Antonio brings out the Poppycopter, knocks back 2, they'll go for Yike. The Magnet Storm engaged into Nature's Grasp, and Yike will fall first. TP behind by Broken Blade, but the rest of G2 are a mile away. Can Broken Blade survive for a year? Yes, he can. Of course he can. He's Cassante. What am I talking about? He could survive on the fountain. For all it's worth right now, GIANTX go 1-for-1 in the trade in the end. G2 can still push forward. Hansama no flash. Patrick trying to put the damage down across the side, but can't find too much more.
TP flank coming in from the Antonio.
The inhibitor tower is going to be down before he can arrive to the battle. He'll look for Caps, he'll knock him back. Broken Blade goes in. Lightning crash from Jackie's. Is it enough? The Antonio already down. Juhan sure to follow him. It's a quick trip to an early grave for GIANTX. And with the arrow connecting, it might be all done for G2. Only 2 Nexus towers stand in their way. Jackie's and Ignat. It would be a Herculean performance to pull this one off, but so far you'd be more like Sisyphus. Constantly trying to make the plays, but that boulder keeps rolling back down in your face. G2 will close it out. Jackie's and Ignat forced back to the fountain. Jackie's doesn't even find solace there. 18 kills to 2, 26 minutes on the clock, 17,000 gold ahead. I think G2...
And I think for G2, they would have liked to kind of build that timing window where they had 10 minutes, say, before they really had to fight at the Dragon and could trade for turrets on side. But I think you're going to find Ignar. We'll just back away.
How long are those two going to keep just saying Eminem lyrics?
At least mine was game relevant originally. Also, yeah, you're the rapper amongst us, buddy. I've had your Christmas gifts. They're very well wrapped.
It's almost as good as my Gwen joke from yesterday.
Oh, true.
Caps in some trouble.
Yeah, Juhan's there. Lands the stun, doesn't quite get the passive down, but Caps, even with a flash, dodges the Mystic Shot, is able to just survive. Yike coming in from the side as well. I'm not sure he wants much more of this. He does manage to land onto Jackie's, who still has a flash. Yike now hits the level 6 off the minions, but he's going to die to the Pyroclasm. Juhan takes the kill, Yike overstepping.
I'm surprised that he thought he had the damage to win that. I mean, yeah, fair play to Yike. I respect the ambition, I guess. The strategy was good, but yeah, just not enough damage on the Maokai. And GIANTX say, okay, sure, we'll take first blood. Goes over to the brand. Small advantage gained, and honestly, just a nice punish. Nasty trade there. Patrick really couldn't do much about it.
Yeah, Patrick's dead. He's got the flash, but Mickey will knock him into the wall, and then with a hail of blades and a hammer shot combo, Mickey takes the kill.
Patrick did have
around those grubs. Broken Blade has the ability to jump in. There's the arrow. Oh, just in the gap. Nature's Grass coming out as well. Ignat tanks it up for the moment. Jackie's putting some damage down, but Broken Blade dives in, and Ignat almost dies. Yike flashes for him, can't quite get him. Mickey down to half HP as well. Yike going back in with a twisted advance, but he's been abandoned by the rest of G2, and the flash forward was a flash to his demise. GIANTX find 1.
Feels like Yike just separated in the...
I think he played very well, but highlighting that he has been a little bit disconnected. Either way, I think in that fight specifically, that wasn't entirely his fault. He has some very serious kill threat in that matchup as well.
I think the first time being complete across the board is a good setup for G2 here.
They look for the engage, the arrow going down as well, and Juhan is locked up and doesn't have a moment to breathe before he dies. Ignat will follow suit as G2 find 2.
I mean, the coordination that we criticized G2 before 4, that was a great example of it. Just very well executed. The Hex Flash from Mickey.
Jackie's can buffer the Arcane Shift away. The Antonio, is his fate sealed here? I don't quite think so. Broken Blade will dash back to the Soul Unbound.
Good timing window from G2 to punish as they're going to look for Jackie's again.
Jackie still has flash here. Arcane shifts away. Mickey falls first. Flash away, but Caps is there for the chase. And find a couple of autos will put Jackie's in his place. G2 playing all over the map as Broken Blade continues to dive the Antonio on the bottom side. The Rift held secured as well. The Antonio trying to flash away. Broken Blade snaps back.
They're pushing in towards mid lane. Have Mickey just waiting off on the sides here to make sure he's offline if Jackie's does try to go forward on this, but Hans should, there you go, just finish off the tower.
Yeah, and GIANTX, there's nothing for them to cross-map because Yone completely owns top lane. He doesn't just own top lane, like, you have to pay rent to even visit top lane. Like, it's crazy how much agency this Yone gives in this matchup, and it all comes back to what the AD was talking about. Take the game into your own hands becomes a lot harder. just because you don't have those playmaking tools.
But I think that's what GX are trying to do now with the playmakers.
Magnustorm immediately onto Mickey. He tries to jump back in, but GIANTX have found a pick. Ignar going in, as you say, that playmaking potential.
On the top side, but you can at least try and defend now against Broken Blade because you've got numbers advantage on the map.
Broken Blade for a second there, I think, was debating whether he takes the Rift Herald out, tries to charge away. Juhan is closing in on him. Mortal Steel is going to do a little bit of damage as Juhan falls to half HP. Broken Blade dashing in, but he can't land the Q3. Juhan down to about 250 HP. Call of the Forge God coming out. Broken Blade will step to the side of it, but they still manage to lock him down for a second. The True Shot Barrage coming out as well in the end. Broken Blade falls to the blaze. Juhan takes him, but Mickey, Flash Ignite, and a buckler to the back is enough to kill the brand.
I love that GIANTX are trying to force these plays on the map. They get a good pick onto Mickey. They are able to punish Broken Blade on the top side, but G2's not the type of team that will just let you get away with that for free. They secure the ball, force GIANTX to come into them. Juhan is in the area.
GIANTX have done a good job of getting a ward just outside of the pit on both the Baron plays. They have had vision of it being started, even though G2 have tried to be sneaky around it. And now with the TP coming in, the Antonio has the Call of the Forge God. Jackie's is yeeted the hell out of there. Call of the Forge God lands a double man knock up, but the Baron's already secured. And GIANTX can't find the engage. No flash on Ignar makes it very tricky for them to get in. Oh, they go back in, flash forward by Yike, but immediately he dies. Broken Blade, can he steal some fates here? Dashes back with the Soul Unbound, and GIANTX have a man advantage. Juhan
just couldn't really get the follow-up, so G2 managed to step away, but Yike going that bit too far forward, and now GIANTX again will get another dragon for themselves.
Sole point for GIANTX, whether they can survive 5 minutes further to get towards that Ocean Soul and whether they'll be in a position to fight it at that time still remains a question. Hans Summer flashing forward underneath the turret. Juhan caught out down towards the bottom side as well. G2 find 2 more, and now GIANTX are at a numbers disadvantage on this Baron push. The wave shoving in, Broken Blade trying to dodge away with the Magnet Sword coming in. The True Shot Barrage has connected as well. Broken Blade dashes back in. The fate sealed on Jackie won't give him enough of a shield to get the kill in response. Broken Blade dies. G2 will take a tier 3 in mid and a tier 3 in bot.
GIANTX doing what they can to get something back, a foothold into this game, but G2 will not give them a moment's breath. They secure the mid inhibitor, they set their sights on the bot one, but they don't want to overstay their way. Welcome, Ignar and Antonio are here. The Ornn ultimate, I believe, is almost off cooldown. It won't be available before G2 choose to reset. The damage has been done, the base is in tatters. That's a 10k gold difference once again, 25 minutes in, and every time GIANTX find
that was a GIANTX pun.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
No,
Cool.
very clever.
Nature's Cross coming out as his Cap's in the bottom lane. He's the one with TP, so he's the one who'll be resigned to playing PvE for the moment. Inhibitor Tower in the top lane falling, a 10,000 gold lead for G2. Cleanse away from Hans Summer to get away from the slow, and it does enough for him to escape. But Caps opens up on the Nexus towers, and GIANTX realize they got to defend 2 fronts at once. G2 push in once again. The Baron expired on Mickey stepping forward. Call of the Forge God not available for the Antonio, but the Magnet Storm is for Ignar. Keeper's Verdict out by Mickey. The Inhibitor Tower falls. G2 start to retreat. Jackie's unable to join his team as of yet, and no reeling.
Too late. G2 have already gotten out scot-free, and now this game, it looks like it's going to end in G2's favor once more.
Double supers in the top lane. Be joined by their comrades in mid. TP away from the Antonio. Realized as he was going to be collapsed on. Keeper's Verdict coming out. Nature's Grasp hits one. Juhan able to dodge away from it. And Mickey's already down to 200 HP. The Call of the Forge God hits the backline. Pyroclasm there to follow it up. And Hans Summer might die, and in the blaze he does. The dive in from Broken Blade won't be enough to keep GIANTX at bay. The Antonio face plants the wall, and GIANTX will get 1 kill. They still have to try and delay the game. The Nexus Tower is the target of these minions. One has already fallen. G2 can continue to push up. Mickey doesn't have a warm walk,
G2 will be able to at least get the dragon on the way back out. But yes, you get a kill, but you're already losing in here, or Nexus turrets as well. It's still kind of G2
back alive. And GIANTX, unfortunately, the downside of having all of this quote-unquote free farm is that it does mean that you don't really have any control over the map, making it hard to contest this objective.
Hit inhib, respawned. Patrick stepping quite far forward here. Broken Blade having that fate sealed. It's a little bit precarious of a situation to be in. GIANTX trying to clear out the wave. There's the call of the Forge God from behind. The Antonio found the flank. They get onto Cabs and they'll shut him down. Mickey the next target for Patrick, and on the back line, the stopwatch will stop the face seal from coming out. Bullet timing invested by Patrick, but Summer's already killed off the brand. Patrick starts to open up, and he's got a 2-level disadvantage, and a big disadvantage when it comes to HP as well. It looked hopeful for a second for GIANTX, but G2 will wipe them away. You can take Caps, but you cannot take the win. 2-0, G2.
Flash Q from Mickey, so like now looking to maybe make that play mid.
Gonna jump onto Patrick first though. Shattering Strike for the stun. He'll be okay. Underneath the tower, as you say, in the mid lane, Jackie's is dead. Pretty much. There we are. The final order from Caps is enough to take him out. And with no flash, there wasn't really much of an escape available to him.
But that's what we need.
The fact that now you can get that control in the mid lane for Caps is going to be great. Get that little bit of an advantage with the Vamp Scepter so you can trade heavily, but Yike now finds the Antonio, 6 for Rumble.
Yeah, Antonio has the equalizer, as you say, but Broken Blade pretty tanky already, and the equalizer does not live up to its name here. Broken Blade able to tank it up, and G2 get their second.
Conceding those grubs due to that small skirmish not going their way, but it will allow them to get to this dragon after Caps is now forced to go back to base.
Back towards the top lane, the Antonio struggled a little bit in this lane.
So yes, you get an extra grub as GIANTX, but you spend a lot of time there. Now the TP onto the Antonio.
TP in by Broken Blade. The Antonio does have a flash, the equalizer coming out, but he's torn it up, and Hans Summer and Broken Blade will melt him down. No escape for the Rumble. Hans Summer gets his first of the game.
I think that was a really smart sequence of play from G2. They know what GIANTX is going to do. I'm going to be in a position to assist Caps. He gets himself another play. Now they walk away. GIANTX is now overstacking top. This now leaves room somewhere else on the map for G2 to potentially put pressure. G2 and Mickey can move into the bot side river, start threatening this mid tower, maybe even convert that pressure into a dragon. Instead, they might just go for a fight.
Forward with the quickness, with the charm. Redemption comes out. Caps able to jump across the side. Knocks back Jackie's with the buster shot. Caps is so low. The Trigger Seed saving him for a second. The Magnet Storm coming out from Mickey as well, but Jackie's has already found the first kill. Juhan falling low. Mickey being opened up on. He'll flash across the wall, but Patrick will chase him with a flash of his own. Hans Summer sliding in like Tony Hawk across the wall. Yikes, surviving with 30 HP. And now Patrick's on the wrong side of the rift. Daisy going to chase him out. It looks like he's going to sacrifice himself to the tower. Not sure if anyone's hit him recently. Don't think it will be an execute. In the end, it will be Yike picking up the kill because, of course, Daisy got that auto down.
Thanks to Daisy getting this extra kill onto Patrick. And yeah, a very chaotic fight on the top side of the map that I honestly think G2 didn't have to take, but smart on GIANTX to find that opportunity.
Yeah, GIANTX trying to say, hey, look, G2 going to look for that side turrets. They're in such a good spot.
Caps, after taking mid, will work his way down towards the bottom side. Broken Blade can shadow him, does have that hero's entrance. Tower falls in top. Caps jumps onto the Antonio, and I'm not sure the Antonio has a way out of this one. Caps cleans him up for his second kill of the game, 7-2 now, and a 6,000 gold lead for G2.
I mean, it's a story of the series, right? G2's about to go 3-0 towers up in the early game.
Hans is going to get rooted, cleanses, Juhan underneath the tower, lightning crash, Hans needs a hero, and here comes Broken Blade, but Hans Summer is a mile away, the redemption coming out, Jackie's falling low, Mickey there with the Magnet Storm, and Hans Summer able to escape. Juhan could start to retreat because he knows his team's days are numbered. G2 collapse, they'll take Patrick, they'll take Jackie's, the Antonio's already dead, and Caps is still pushing bots.
G2 brought a literal Goliath to the fight, and it works out beautifully for them. Hans Summer able to just barely escape, and they didn't even need Caps for it. He was just pushing in this bot side the entire time with Rift Herald in tow. This is looking very G2 favored once more.
GIANTX are trying to get scrappy with G2, and things just are not panning out the way that they want. Every single fight, it's going to be another pick here, I think. So they have the damage.
It's going to be Jackie's joining the fight, but Juhan's already down to about 200 HP. Ignite here for a bit of shielding. Dance is in with the battle dance. Broken Blade falling low will fall to Jackie's first. And now Mickey needs to try and get the hell out of dodge. The Trigger Seed on him buys him a second, but it's not going to buy enough. 2 over to Jackie's. The Antonio now collapsing on Hans Summer, and I'm not sure he wins out this fight. Hans Summer doesn't have the flash, but can just dash across the wall. Crack and complete. I wonder if GIANTX will want to take a fight. It's only second dragon of the game, first for G2, because of course GIANTX took one earlier on. And as you say, Rob, don't think Dragon stacking is really G2 can't pressure 2 towers at once, but they can definitely take the tier 2 in mid. The root caller lands into the Mega Storm, and here comes the hero. He's fresh for the fight. GIANTX forced away. Jackie's ticking to the ignite. Equalizer down. Jackie's just about survives on the backline, but G2 will use the pressure in mid to open up the base.
It's GIANTX immediately forced to retreat to the safety of their fountain. 21 minutes in, and G2 will crack the base of GIANTX. It's a 10K.
Fantastic in the meta at the moment, as that's currently what we see a lot of his 3 carries, and G2 playing very well around it. Now Broken Blade pushing in, gets that top lane turret. It looks like it's just a fall back to Baron, as that is a very, very dark area for GIANTX.
GIANTX have a tiny bit of vision in that top lane try, but with the TP coming in, I don't really think they'll be able to challenge this one too effectively. G2 are calling GIANTX to the battle. They have a control ward in, but immediately Ignar pays the price for putting it down. Mum is not going to be able to save you from this situation, GIANTX. G2 take the Baron, they'll take the kill, they'll take a 12,000 gold lead. I think they want to take the series.
It isn't really fair to moonwalk over the pit, kill Ignar, and then moonwalk back over with the next Q from Ivern. Like,
it's a thriller,
it's
man.
It's too stylish, yeah.
Way too cool from G2. Broken Blade flanking here as GIANTX trying to defend. Ignar back up to bolster the defenses, but even his contributions don't do much in the face of G2, who continue to march forward. Nature's Glass coming out, Mickey tanks it, Caps takes a shot as well, but buffers out his jump. The hero's entrance from Broken Blade will separate the 2 teams. Ignar forced to dance away, Broken Blade flashes and lands a 2-man taunt. Patrick has to flash away, Caps jumps forward once again with that rocket leap, but can't find purchase on the fight. Instead, they find purchase on the inhib, and that will fall. Top and mid now down. The Baron remains for 2 minutes' time, and G2 are looking to end the series right here, right now. The first Nexus tower is laid to ruins. Broken Blade almost the same. The Trigger C just in time to save his life. Will G2 continue to advance? Will GIANTX find a way to win out the fight? No TP for Broken Blade means that likely G2 will allow GIANTX to live to fight another day. Perhaps mistimed recalls here. The Twisted Advance coming out. Yike stays around. GIANTX looking to collapse. Caps waits across the wall. The TP behind as well on that control ward. Hunt Summer can open up. Has that lightning crash, and Juhan's already down to half HP. The Antonio coming for the flank, and Juhan will fall first. The Antonio looking for something, but he can't find it, and the rest of his team has left him to the wolves that are G2. It looked like G2 would need to reset, but GIANTX walked into their gaping maws. And now with Baron remaining for 1.5 minutes, I think it's all done.
You don't want to throw punches at a man that's walking away, and GIANTX did just that, and G2 came back angry, waving top now. G2 want to make this the quickest game of the series.
A lower bracket run, a G2 speciality. Here they're looking to start it in emphatic style. GIANTX, Patrick, Jackies and Ignar left to try and find a way back in, but Mickey is having none of it. He puts them back into the fountain, and GIANTX will be taking a long vacation. G2, in dominant fashion, will take the 3-0 and meet up with BDS on Friday.